Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Saturday. It's slightly rainy outside. And it's time to embark on the first half of our wonderful Changeling finale. Slightly different this week. We're playing 2 episodes in a weekend. So that we can wrap it up and get it all nicely neat and complete and finish with a bow on top. We still do have our regular vampire stream, which does mean that tomorrow I am going to do the jump from doing Changeling, having a half-hour break, and then jumping straight into vampire. But hey, I love being busy. I love having stuff to do. So this is my idea of heaven, actually. But yeah, we get to play some more Changeling today. And things are getting weirder by the episode, I think. It started off with giant fish in an endless ocean. And then we went a bit all Alice in Wonderland, and now we're in the internet, apparently. But before we get to that, I want to give everyone a chance to introduce themselves, say who they are, who they're playing, anything interesting they're doing. And we'll start from right to left. So we'll start with Maddie.
Hello, yes, I am Maddie. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing Xena Crowther, they, she for you today. And I am going to be at Dragon Meet in a couple of weeks' time. So if you are based in the UK or Europe and you can make the journey, I'm going to be hanging out in the podcast zone. I'm going to be promoting my solo and duet TTRPG podcast, A Game of One's Own. And I've got some hard copies of my one-page RPGs, Vampire Cowboys and Alien Festival, one of which I made at a jam organized by lovely Purna. So if you're around, I'd love to see you.
Awesome. I was going to go, but travel is a pain in the backside. Especially when you can't get Friday off. Like, if I could get Friday off, I would go to Dragon Meet, but because I can't get Fridays off, it's really difficult to get down there without having to do like a 6 a.m. trip on a train to London.
My only obstacle is the hellscape that is Euston. So I'm still not. It's still not great, but it's better than some other situations that could be.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right then. Let's move on. Let's move on to Purna.
Hi, I'm Purna. My pronouns are she, her. I am playing Atra, whose pronouns are they, she. I have been caught up on all the goings-on in a beautifully succinct fashion by my fellow castmates. And I'm not fully sure I understand why or how we are in the internet, but I mean, aren't we all asking ourselves the same question? Why are we in the internet? I would love to have to be going to Dragon Meet, but I can't because of that 9-hour flight away, and also a visa application away. Doesn't matter. We don't have to talk about politics. It's a bit much at the moment. And I do a bunch of TTRPG stuff. Just after this stream, I will be playing Eat the Reich on One Shot Wonderarium. So if you are not tired of this face, maybe consider clicking through to that after a few hours. I don't know what you do with your time. If this is what you're choosing to do with it, great. You too can join us in the internet.
Fantastic. Last but not least, we have Dean.
Hi, hello, it is me, D. My pronouns are the currently extremely in flux, they, them, and I'm playing our extremely mad scientist girl, Zelda, whose pronouns are she, her. When I'm not here pretending to be various very strange people on tabletop games, I can be found on Blue Sky, and mostly Blue Sky at this point, under the handle Alphabet Sauce, where I talk about giant robots, music, and tabletop role-playing games. Mostly tabletop role-playing games right now, as I'm currently working on a very simple One Piece inspired Lumen game. If it's not there, then I'm making music and weird videos on my old music project channel, Planless Dan, on YouTube. That is me.
Fantastic. Right. I suppose I should have a crack at doing a recap for once, since I always need to outsource the problem. Last episode, we started with meeting Crow, well, Shadow Crow, who just wanted Maddie to listen to more music forever and ever and ever. But no one was taking any of that shit. And you all defeated him in quite spectacular fashion, swinging your umbrella swords around. And then Altair decided, can I actually feed off this thing? Which is a perfectly natural thing to do when you see an unknown entity that you don't know anything about. Is just, can I feed? And, you know... they did, and it turns out that you can actually drain a human while in the dreaming, which totally doesn't cause any problems for any other groups of vampires in London at all. And there is zero consequences to those actions. You then moved into the sort of void space in between realms, which was the ginormous geared innards of a grandfather clock. All you really had to do was just walk a bit slow across and like take your time. It would be fine. But certain people here were a bit eager and decided to sprint across and fail, and then face plant themselves down a set of gears before realizing that maybe they should take it a bit slow. We then entered our little Alice in Wonderland room, the living room with no door, but seemingly a cat flap and a internet router that would let you escape. We spent a while exploring. We found out that the mirrors allowed you to transport across the room. And then Zelda came up with the genius idea of using their gust cantrip to blow air up, and they use their umbrellas to just float around like Mary Poppins, and get around the living room practically unhindered. You managed to turn on the electronic cat flap while trying to summon Dom the cat, which you never actually got to see, which is a big shame. And instead, you managed to summon a horde of cats because you shook the dreamies and pushed them off the edge, which caused all the cats to come running out to investigate. Upon realizing that maybe now there's too many cats and getting to the cat flap might be a bit more difficult, decided to go through the router. Which, according to your map, is a bit off the beaten track, but it may also be a shortcut. Or it may be a long way round. Who knows? Either way, you went through and did that. However, once you entered, you realized that Altair and Ollie were no longer behind you, and the only sort of remnant to know that they were there is that on the ground are two mirrors that Altair was holding on to for you. And that was where we left everything off. And that's where we're going to pick things up. So, first of all, welcome to the deep dreaming. The deepest any changeling has ever gone into the dreaming. New sets of rules apply here on top of the normal mechanics. So yeah, first rule is no prodigals or mortals can enter the deep dreaming, hence Altair and Co disappearing. Normal cantrip casting turns chaotic and is akin to unleashing. All cantrips now use the unleashing rules, and checks the number of successes against art plus realm. Instead of making things easier, Bunks acts to now bring order to fairy magic, lowering the number of successes on the final result of unleashing. The difficulty doesn't go down anymore, so it's still -2 difficulty. However, cantrips and unleashing no longer cost glamour. Casting is now free while you're in the deep dreaming. If you decide to unleash in the deep dreaming, actually fully unleash, you get +3 die to your roll. Glamour is plentiful. In addition, you now restore 1 glamour per hour. You also all gain 1 more dot of glamour while you're in the dreaming. As this place is quite literally flooded with it. Although you wouldn't really know that you're in the dreaming right now. Well, at least a fantasy dreaming, because what you're standing on right now appears to be light. Rather than standing on grass or concrete, you just seem to be standing on pure light.
That's because light will guide us home, Edge.
Will.
And ignite your bones.
Exactly, and take away your ability to see. Yeah, there's these 2 mirrors just sort of laying on the ground behind you. One of them is obviously the Balefire mirror, so it's currently ignited and on fire. It doesn't obviously affect changelings, the Balefire, but it does appear to be slightly brighter now that you're in the deep dreaming, which kind of checks out, given that the sheer amount of glamour that's in the place. It does kind of make sense.
Okay. I will slowly approach the mirrors, and I guess I'll pick up the Balefire mirror as it is bright and burning. Zelda's still kind of processing the fact that our friend seems to have been evaporated, and will take a moment trying to scan the area, and she won't get any useful information, but just to kind of have this is the info I have at the time of what has occurred. A smarter version of me will figure this out.
Around you is kind of you can't tell if this is a void or a kind of a realm that's just covered in some sort of mystical fog that you just can't see through. All you can really see is this path of blue lights that acts as kind of like a road that's going ahead. And the further you look ahead, the more broken everything looks. So the path suddenly stops some point in the future, and you can just see what appears to be floating blue cubes of light. If you look at these cubes and the floor enough, you can actually start to see little like 1s and 0s being listed on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Concerning. It looks like this place. Oh, sorry.
Gonna make a characteristic unnecessary joke by saying that here is once again where we lament the lack of non-binary representation.
I think as you say non-binary representation, you just see in the background like several large clusters of these squares just glitch out and then just collapse into the void.
Serves them right.
As they try and work out how to be non-binary.
Zina's like, you just
I take it back.
2. Come on, it's not that hard. There's loads of other numbers.
Suddenly, math no longer makes sense.
Newsflash, it never made sense.
Imaginary numbers?
This is the deep... Yeah, exactly. Deep dreaming. This is... Because this... Now it's like beyond imaginary numbers. It's gone into the math is mathing area of mathematics that is yet to reach its full academic potential. I am so sorry, Eddie. I entirely went on a tangent when you were about to actually do something in game.
You're totally fine. Oh boy. I think I think it takes Zelda a few more seconds to get it because she tries to be there like, hold on a second, this is computer code. How does that make sense? And it's like, oh, okay, it's a joke. Very clever one. Before she gets up, and it's like, oh, we're not going to gain anything by staying here, and I'm not going to find out what happened to. Never mind. You have to move on. You have to move forward. And I'm gonna see if I we're on like a standing on like light, yeah, it's like a big weird void. All right, let's keep moving and see if the light will follow me wherever I go.
There's a path you can follow.
Perfect.
You're not quite sure what happens if you put your foot over the void, over the lights, and
as tempting as it would be to find out, I'd rather not die, so I'll follow the path.
Awesome. Is there anything else anyone else wants to do before they set off on the path?
I think Xena just has a little bit of a conversation with themselves where they're like, we barely knew Altair and Ollie. They were probably dickheads anyway. It was just a matter of time before they turned out to be dickheads. So we better just concentrate on what our goal is right now, and that is very transparently, even to Xena herself, like a coping mechanism for the sudden disappearance. And she's actually quite shaken, but this is how they're choosing to deal with it.
Real. Oh, they turned to dust? That's a skill issue.
Yeah, it's their fault.
They knew the risks.
I love this. I feel like we should always approach. It really feels like. I feel like Akshara's like. This is everything about streaming platforms and the decisions they make about which series to keep and which series to cancel, like in the middle of a perfectly sensible season. Everything is making sense. Everything is connected. Maybe their decisions come from deep in the dreaming. And this is why sometimes characters you haven't actually personally interacted with, but off camera apparently have, evaporate into thin air, and sometimes you start a revolution amongst pixels and cubes of light. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow of the universe, and Akshar's okay with it. Mostly because Akshar's having a fantastic hair day.
Real.
Zelda,
Mhm.
as you are looking around, first of all, you seem to notice that Akshar's hair definitely is perfect. Maybe it's photoshopped, who knows? You notice that your umbrella blade has been replaced. And while you're here, you have a sword made out of light.
Ooh.
What color would you like it to be?
Ooh. Let's go with purple.
Yep, so yours is a lovely bright purple. What about Xena?
Xena is going for a sort of Aladdin Sane maroon red.
And Ashkra?
The realist.
Just for the sake of funsies, I'm gonna say lime green neon.
Ooh.
I can't call them lightsabers because that's copyright. They're light swords. But they just so happen to functionally work in almost the same way.
Photon blades.
Exactly.
Perfect.
You walk down this path for a while. It's a bit difficult to tell if things are changing, because everything seems to look the same, even as you're walking forward. The only time that you realize you may be getting somewhere is when you start to notice other paths of light start appearing in the background. Kind of like branching off and off each other and around each other. And you could just see loads of like ones and zeros just floating through them at high speed. They seem to be communication lines, would be your normal thoughts. You do, however, notice a cube in front of you. And on it is the name of a streaming service just written on it. I'm going to call it My View because I am not getting into arguments with other people. But it just appears to be a standard white cube, about 7 foot up and 7 foot across, with just a single computer terminal attached to it.
I swear to God, if the weird dial-up music starts playing, I'm gonna drop off this call so fast. Edge. There are things that I'm willing to accept in game. Dial-up is not one of them. I will say that right now.
We've gone past dial-up. It's fine. We're at fiber-ish.
There's one computer. I don't know. I don't trust this. There's one terminal.
Real.
The path does seem to stop.
Does seem to stop. Well, there's only one thing to do, and there's a computer. as I approach it, and push a button and see what happens.
May I also just say, in the vein of things where I'm like, how meta is Hedge getting? But turns out Hedge isn't really. Or if it's a computer, is it running Windows? And what are Windows if not kind of mirrors if they're shiny enough?
It's not running Windows, it runs Linux. Everything in the internet runs Linux.
Of course.
That's fair. Fine. I will just say Starlink also runs Linux, but whatever.
Oh, don't worry. I've got that reference coming up soon. Don't you worry.
No.
So you're just going to press any button, Zelda? Any key?
Yeah, I just want to wake up from sleep, see what happens.
Press escape. Press escape.
Oh, that sounds so much fun. Press escape.
Yeah, you press escape. The computer screen comes to life. Considering that it's really futuristically modern in the internet here, the screen is a CRT monitor. Unfortunately, it's not it's not a 4K curved monitor. So you get those little bits of lines going down them as it loads. You get what looks like the homepage of MyView, which is just a standard streaming, a standard like sort of Twitch competitor, I guess. You can see all the top streams on there and all the people streaming things. It just looks like a normal terminal.
You look through this like, oh, that's a MyView streamer I follow. They make gadgets and things and talk about making more gadgets. Delightful. You should watch this one. Very interesting, I promise you.
Do you go click on it?
Yeah, I got it.
You click on it, and you notice as you click on that stream, all of a sudden its numbers of viewers start to go up significantly. Like, they only have like maybe 100 or 200 viewers, but very quickly that number starts going up to like 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 10,000.
Uh-oh.
May I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Has everyone here, when they were kids, watched Dexter's Laboratory?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's been a very long time, but I do have memories of that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a moment there when Zelda clicked on the link for some reason with an abandon that I'm not sure where they're getting it. Some voice deep within the recesses of my childhood memories were like, "Dee, do not press the button."
It would have been so.
Why?
What does this button do?
You're even wearing a pink cap. It's perfect. Oh, love it.
I mean, Zelda will just press anything in front of her.
Let's enter the find out portion.
Yeah, this stream, it just seems to be getting a lot more viewers all of a sudden. If you like...
Oh, yeah?
If you like, anyone here can give me intelligence plus technology, difficulty 7.
Ooh. Intelligence and technology, perfection. I believe. Yeah, I know things.
You know,
my roll was futile.
Technically, we are bots because you failed and got a 1. Actually, no.
Cool.
No, you cancelled each other out. You got a 7, didn't you? So they cancelled each other out, so you're 5. It's only if you have 0 successes, then have 1 left over.
I almost get a nosebleed.
Okay, so 4 from Zelda, 1. Okay, so 2 people succeeded, 1 person failed. You begin to think that this might not be a server that hosts the MyView service. This might be a bot server.
Whoops. Whoops. So we've sent like all the bots to this channel.
Yep.
This might. Oh, that's probably deeply unfortunate.
So, as a question, if you search for users you might know, Zelda, on Autumn World's internet, and like maybe famous people, not necessarily people you know, does that show up? Is the internet all connected?
Let's give it a go. And I search up the most awful famous celebrity I can think of and see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah, their channel's there. They're a terrible person. They sell energy drinks to kids, and you know, are just generally not the nicest person around, but somehow they still keep getting more popular. And are now a lot more popular now that you've clicked on them, because now their views are going up even more.
Okay, now that we know it's connected, can you think of back in Autumn World? I don't know why I can't words. Someone who streams or talks a lot about vampire fiction.
Ooh. Google up famous vampire fiction literature channel.
I mean, there is a literature category. Like it wouldn't take long to search through the literature category.
Because I just feel like if there's like fan accounts that are like constantly talking about theories about like the vampire fiction and vampire conspiracy theories with like regular people, I think we could probably, if there was any information we wanted to get about what's going on back there and how it's going, we could probably ferret it out in chat if we wanted to, is my thinking.
Sort of try to use it to keep up with any developments via here. That's an interesting way to try and do it.
You can try.
What do you
Sure,
think,
I can try. If I gotta roll something, I'll roll something.
No, I'm not gonna say you to roll anything, to be fair. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, you find a streamer who has like 1 or 2 viewers, and is just talking about vampirism in general, and it seems very tinfoil hat. Like they're convinced that there's vampires in London, which of course it isn't vampires in London. Why would there be vampires in London? And like begins to talk about, you know, how they're not like how you read in the books, you know, like the Dracula novel is not correct, and like there are certain rules. And as you're watching this channel, all the bots pour into this channel, which I'm gonna roll a d10 to see how successful this is. Oh. Of course it's a 10. The bots are enough to push it on the trending page, which then kind of just like snowballs into other people suddenly watching vampire stuff. this won't have any consequence for you.
For us, specifically
This-
for us.
The certain groups of mortals may be getting very suspicious that vampirism is suddenly becoming very popular on the internet. This person doesn't know any new information about vampires and what is going on. The vampires do a very good job of hiding their tracks. And if a random Twitch streamer on the internet was to suddenly start blurting out their secrets, they probably wouldn't be long for the world anyway. But hey, this person's now got a whole new cult following.
Nice.
And, you know, I mean, that definitely can't go wrong. I'm
sure everything will work out perfectly.
I mean, look, if there's anything we learned with Crow, you know, giving people obsession, you know, is definitely not a bad thing. And, you know, we're not going to encounter any more shadows. You do notice one thing, though, Zelda, as you're scrolling through these pages. There's a mysterious channel that keeps popping up in every category that has 0 viewers. And because you got 5 combined successes between you, the channel's just called Exit.
Ooh. Well, that seems fitting for our current location. Let's check out the Exit channel and see what it does out here.
You load up the Exit channel, and all the bots do exactly what you're expecting it to. Like, jump on the channel to view it. The stream just has a progress bar on it. And it says viewers to unlock exit. And it says 75,000.
Oh!
The bots can only get you to about 60,000.
So what I'm hearing is we need to go to another popular channel, stir some shit up, and then bring people over.
Controversy is a very quick way to gain attention, yes. I think that's how that works.
I mean, this is assuming that we don't want to stream from this one terminal fucking middle of a different dimension.
Has surprisingly solid connection for being out in a different plane of reality, but I guess that makes sense, seeing as internet.
I gotta say, being one step further into the internet than the provider definitely has its perks.
I mean, you don't need to use a VPN out here.
I think you do, actually.
I mean, be careful how much you say that, because knowing this place, it probably is sponsored by NordVPN somewhere. Even the dreaming accepts sponsorships. I mean, you could have a go at trying to start beef with this, using this account to start beef with another channel.
I don't think we need to start beef. We can just be like, over on like some band that sounds vaguely like Exit. Just like, oh, if you want to win free tickets to whatever concert, they're doing like giveaways in the next 5 minutes on some like music.
I mean, if you want to have a go,
yeah.
Give me charisma and performance, difficulty 5.
You got this, I believe.
Charisma and performance. Performance with charisma. Difficulty 5.
Hey.
Hey, that's a lot of 10s. Yeah, you're able to go onto another popular channel and like come up with a hey, there's this new band.
Oh my god, guys! I didn't expect when I said stuff like and subscribe and press the bell icon if you want to know when I put up more content that people would press the bell icon. What? Unheard of.
Yeah, you put out this advert on a couple channels, and Zelda, you watch as the number of viewers to the exit channel, which is just showing a screen with a progress bar and a number. That's all it's showing. Gets more viewers, and passes the 75k mark. Once you hit that 75k, you hear a click. And on the other side of this cube, you just see another path of light just like beaming off further into the distance.
It seems the answer was influence and clout. I'll remember this as I walk in that direction.
Okay. What are we going to do with the terminal? We're just going to leave it there?
We gotta keep it with us for our loyal fans.
I mean, you can't take the terminal with you. It's too big. And it's attached to the actual cube. But you can just leave it there, or you could press a few more buttons before you leave.
Control, Alt, Delete. Control, Alt, Delete. Task Manager. Let's find out. I know it's Linux, but I don't know anything about Linux commands. I'm just going.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, yeah, you can do the Linux equivalent of Control Alt Delete and bring up the Task Manager and start looking at all the processes running on here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's the bot process, which is the big one, which is the one that's running all the bot accounts that follow, based on what the terminal's telling it to do.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any cute singles in our area?
Real questions.
Here's the thing. Those kind of adverts don't work here in the Dreaming because the definition of your area is so abstract that it just gets replaced with there are single people in your dimension.
So what you're saying is if we just stay in the Dreaming, we will not face targeted ads.
No, there's nothing to target. You can't target a reality.
We gotta live here. Like, the horrifying side effects. Whatever. Don't worry about it.
I mean,
no ads.
No
targeted ads, but they're not targeted. They're just complete and utter random ads.
Yeah.
I can do
that. See, we're still being asked to subscribe to NordVPN. There's no escaping it.
It's just you're not targeted to do it anymore. No,
you
do get the impression.
You can escape NordVPN.
No, there isn't. Even in the dream realm, NordVPN will come and find you and will try and sell you their services. Because surfing the internet in the Dreaming is tough, and there are loads of chimerical threats out there that do want to try and steal your data.
On the other hand, if you have £5 and haven't subscribed before, you could get a meal from Hello Fresh.
You want to be careful if you say that too many times, food will start appearing in the Dreaming.
And what does Xena want to do with the power of the internet? Do you want to wreak any chaos?
Well, I'm tempted to do a whole drag act. I am slightly concerned about the mirrors. But
oh my god, torrents? Oh no, right, sorry.
Yeah, Xena is like, I think Xena's deeply tempted to just like stream a carefully choreographed sort of drag striptease act, but resist the urge and gains a banality, because whenever they have to resist temptation, they gain a banality.
Oh no. You could shut down this bot server just by terminating the bot process.
It would probably be the right thing to do, quotation marks.
Or you could just send the bots to someone's channel and leave it.
That's so funny. I've sent someone who sucks. Just be like, all right. But the thing, you send someone sucks, and if it's like their channel's already really big, it'll just help them.
You do notice the Crow did have a streaming account on here.
Oh, fuck that. Just send that.
Tens of thousands of viewers just watching the recaps and replays of a guy who's now dead. But they don't know that yet. They're bots. They're not smart enough. They're just dumb. Ironically, Crow makes his partner goal in death.
Oh, tragic.
Look, he just didn't know how to get possessive. That's the one takeaway. You know,
Real.
Possession kills. But yes, you've got this path going out as it goes deeper into this bizarre realm.
Okay. It goes deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, prayers.
That's.
What did you, before I randomly piped up with an unnecessary joke, what were you going to say, Xena, about the mirrors?
I'm just kind of anxious to get the job done in case they accidentally bump together and cause a tear in reality.
So if we, given my my grasp on reality is loose the best of times, given that I wasn't there for a previous episode, how do you suggest how did both of you suggest that we proceed towards the task getting done?
Well, we could consult the map. Although right now there's no need since it's a straight line so far. But like at the second we get to a point where it's like a juncture and there's turns, we have a map that can theoretically point us in the correct direction, but reading it is not good for us. So it's only meant to be used for emergencies. But for now, we should simply be able to continue, and we shouldn't be in too much danger in the process.
Okay. Xena, that sound good to you?
That works for me. Yeah.
Does anyone have any objections to us notionally, not actually, seeing we're off to see the wizard as we go further down this path? We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. We hear who is. Anyway, yeah, I was just a thought. There's three of us. We're headed towards some shady shit. Anyway, so what does going further down this path look like? And also, given that I haven't had a go at reading the map as yet because of something there, if you need me to suffer a little to read the map, I am happy to do that.
Got it.
This path looks more of the same. Once you like head off the cube and go another path, it kind of just goes back to more nothingness again. As you walk. Are you singing "We're off to see the wizard" as you go?
I am.
Okay.
It's not clear whether it's being joined.
As you're singing it, you get this. You sing it once, and then you sing it a second time, and then all of a sudden, you go mute. You're still singing the words, but no sounds now coming out. You have been copyright struck and are now mute. You can't say any words that are in the lyrics of that song. Anytime you try to say them, you will get muted.
Absolute disrespect. That is amazing.
Hedges are. I see what you mean.
Any other words, you're fine. Just now off, wizards, to see. Okay, there's a few words there. You see on your on your wrist, like a little digital timer's popped up that counts down from 60 minutes. That's your content ban. You're now technically on the digital naughty step for 60 minutes. So once I hit 0, you can then start singing again. But the internet's a tough place. As you keep walking further down this path, you eventually reach a place where it looks like your path of light turns into a bridge that goes over what looks like a stream. But this stream is just full of like 1s, 0s, bits, bytes. It's digital water. It does seem a bit weird that it's just been a straight path and now there's suddenly a bridge. But there's a bridge there with lots of flowing digital water. I would say it looks beautiful, but that's pushing it a little bit.
What happens if I touch this literal live stream of data?
As you touch this live stream of data, you feel your like fingers tingle, and you start involuntarily speaking somebody's conversation as you've kind of like dipped into somebody's like Skype call, and you're now picking up their data and are now like emulating it. Meanwhile, in the autumn world, there's a poor person looking at their friend, just looking at a buffered image. There's no data's coming through. As you're now talking about their latest hobby of collecting crocs. So you take your hand out, of course.
Yeah. I think Zelda probably keeps her hand in a little bit longer than she really should. That should really get out as soon as you start speaking in someone's convo. But after like a good 20 seconds, like, okay, let's stop that. Let's not do that.
But yes, you've still got this bridge to go over.
All right. Let's cross the bridge, and Zelda will be talking about this river. Like, I wonder if there's other connections that flow through here from private sources, or is it only public calls? That was a Skype call, so it must be private sources as well. Could you connect with government research? Interesting.
Oh no, Zelda.
But
Zelda goes to find the Pentagon in the here. Find me the Fey Pentagon.
Fey Pentagon. Let's go.
As you're crossing this bridge, you get to like the top of the bridge. When all of a sudden, in front of you, a large troll digitally appears.
Oh no. It's an internet troll. No.
And it's like it appears. It's about like 9 foot tall, blocking like both ends of the bridge, so you can't just push past them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Why? I'm supposed to tell you can't cross the bridge unless you solve a riddle. I don't know who programmed this. This is stupid. My entire reality is stupid. But I have to do what I'm told to do, because that's what my programming tells me to do. So I'm just going to give you this riddle, and then we can all be on our way and pretend that this never fucking happened. Okay?
All right, I guess.
Okay, and you sort of see like he like opens up a book and like flicks through it. It's like, here it is. What is always coming but never arrives?
The future?
Yeah, that's about right. Tomorrow, the future. You're like, did you Google that?
I read a lot of books as a kid. I just love fantasy books.
I mean, no judgment if you did. I mean, I was having a whale of a time at a troll conference, and then I got summoned here. Like, this is grossly a misuse of my time.
Is there any way we can help release you from your bonds? So you can get back to your conference?
I mean, you've passed the puzzle. Just go, and then I'll just go back to where I came from.
Cool, okay.
And just don't use this bridge again.
I highly doubt that we will. Nice to meet you.
Your
nice
job
to meet you too. No, actually, being a troll's quite nice. Being an internet troll, that's different. But regular trolls, it's a quite quiet existence. And occasionally you get to scare kids. It's good fun. But, those internet trolls, no, they're a totally different breed. I try not to interact with them. They don't think straight. And they hate everything. Like, if you say that you like something, they immediately say they hate it. So sometimes I say that I like a really good thing and watch them just attack that. And then sometimes I'll say I like a really bad thing and watch them say that they don't like that. And watch them get really, really pissy about defending their hatred of something that everyone should universally hate. It's quite funny. They don't think straight.
I love this dude. This guy is...
Now, if you hurry up and along, I had a main course I was just about to tuck into.
I respect the grind. Enjoy your meal, and I'll walk past.
Your hotel rooms are expensive for these conventions.
You know what? Can't even blame them.
You all run past the troll, who then seems to disappear in a blast of ones and zeros as he goes back to his conference. You do, however, reach a point in this light path where it suddenly diverges into 4 separate paths. One red, one green, one blue, one yellow. And it would be helpful to like be able to track them, but they all kind of go into like spaghetti and go around and through each other. So it becomes almost difficult to remember which path is which. From here, there's no visible indication as to like where the end is for these paths. At least from here.
This might require the map, unfortunately. Either that or simply trusting in our ability to navigate even across the internet.
I mean, you can try and use the map if you like.
I look at the map and think about how it hurts my brain to look at the map. And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. And
I mean, I learned a lot about MOTs the last time I looked at that map, so I'm not keen to look at it again.
I'm so terribly sorry.
I don't even have a car.
That is true.
No. No, actually, that wouldn't work. Let me not do that. I will.
Would it be possible to roll with enigmas?
Ooh.
Yeah, you can try Enigma. I think Wit's an Enigma. Difficulty 6.
Okay.
Hey, not too shabby.
Yeah, 3 successes. You can't quite figure out why you think the yellow path is the right path. Maybe you're still in Wizard of Oz mode, and like the yellow path seems to be is the one that might be correct. I mean, your content band's nearly up. You've only got 10 more minutes. So as long as you don't start singing again, you should be fine. But yeah, the yellow path seems to be the safer path.
I convey to my teammates that yellow is the way to go. I have a very strong feeling, and I cannot tell you why because of the ban.
I think trusting strong feelings is a good plan whilst in the dreaming, as our senses aren't exactly honest to us sometimes. And I will start going down the yellow path.
Awesome. We're calling it the yellow path because it's yellow and it's a path, and the fact that it's made of brick is completely irrelevant.
Coincidence.
Yeah, it's another one of those coincidences that I can't be sued for.
The jaundiced pavement.
Yeah. So you follow this path. Now, you can see the path in front of you, like twisting and turning and like doing a loop as you sort of like go forward. But it's really weird because as you walk forward, the path is always straight for you. It's the rest of reality that turns as you sort of, as you got like twist and loop around these paths. For you, it's always a straight line. Just everything around you, all these cubes and like floating platforms are getting worse and rotating. And as you go deeper down, there's more of them. The good news is you can see the exit.
Nice.
The bad news is it's surrounded by a ginormous wall of fire.
A firewall.
A literal firewall. As you arrive onto this sort of final platform, you can see a ginormous terminal, bigger than the one you had before at the MyView server. And on it is just a simple random collection of letters. Which on the Foundry I can now take everyone to. It says, I'm going to try and spell this phonetically. It comes out saying Dra Brusnek Fag Grab Duala Edran Yankadadra Yakmugd. It makes no sense. I mean, Zelda's smart enough, it has got like a high technology skill to know that that's encrypted. It sounds like to get to the firewall, you may have to decrypt what it says. At the moment, however, you have no hints at all as to what this might be. Because you've done so well, each of you can give me a letter, and I will tell you what its corresponding correct letter is.
Ew. Okay.
I've got a theory. That first word is the, because that's kind of
3-letter word. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask whether D corresponds to T, and then if I'm wrong, then we can see what's happening.
That should be visible for you now.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, D. Yeah.
So presumably R equals H and A equals E.
I did the wrong one. Give me a second. That one. There we go.
D equals T. Perfection.
Cool.
So yeah, presumably R is H and A is E in theory.
And U is O.
I can show you what U is if you want to know what U is.
Because if it's the thing.
If that's
the something B, maybe F is B, because the something B, something to.
Oh yeah. F could be B or W if it's instead of saying we.
Yeah, and then if Y is A and N is R, then it's the something B, something to something R. Because Y and A must also be a word that ends in E, but is a connection.
And the double A in Gab is probably an
Double E. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've revealed the bit because you've got the correct. You've still got 2 more letters you can pick to be revealed. What they are.
We're pretty sure that the Y and A is ARE, probably, yeah?
Yeah.
So which one of these letters does not look like we have any clue what's going on? Do you know what C is? It pops up, twice?
Yeah, C would be a good one.
Yeah, all right, let's find out what that is.
C is...
Gong. Very satisfying gong.
It's just my cat's tail hitting my mic stand.
C is S.
S? Okay.
So the word that starts with CD is ST, which makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
Yeah. Because that's why it's there's something something to let's see.
You've got one more letter.
I would suggest B, because that's considering it's that start of that second word.
Oh yeah. And that's like
I've
yeah, sure.
one.
and that's a proper noun too.
B equals P.
Nice.
So it's SES at the end.
So that's PR something something something. Yeah. We don't have F. We don't have. Oh, we do have A.
I am willing to sell you more letters or a word. But each time you do, you have to complete a slightly harder check.
Ooh.
The first one is a difficulty 5 check.
Difficulty 5, yeah? Sure. All right, I'll take a crack at that.
You can choose whatever skill you like to demonstrate to the firewall.
My brilliance. I think it makes sense for me to use. Intelligence would be my best one, but I also feel like wits makes sense thematically, and then I can use technology to bump that up. I'm
go for it. It's got difficulty 5.
I believe. Hey, there we go.
Right. Awesome. What do you want revealed? Do you want a word revealed, or do you want? I'll give you 3 more letters.
3 more
Either
letters.
a word or 3 more letters.
Which word? There's some long words here. We already know most of that second word. What about this CDN?
Oh, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. So, because G is probably K, because it's EEP. A, like the double A is double E, and B is P, so it's probably keep.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Mm.
So the process. No.
The process.
What is U?
Aha, that's a good one. We need to know because that pops up a lot.
Do you want to know what U is?
Yeah.
Okay, so U is O.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Perfection.
So the process. No, the
You've got 2 more letters.
Pro something says.
Yeah, so it's pro dash says dash E keep. S is M, I think. So it's promises.
Ooh.
We keep the promises we keep to let's see if that is an E and that's probably
each other.
Each other, yeah, to each other. OTHER. Yep, that's each other. Promises we keep to each other are S. Do we know what D is? It's T. S. You said ST.
Store.
And then
and
stow. It's stolen. Not stolen. Sorry. It's STO. And U is O. It's S-T. No. What?
Remember, you
Straw.
can reveal two
STR.
more letters.
Straw.
This is so much more
We have
fun.
enough. We have enough to figure it out.
Are stronger, maybe? No. STRO. Do we know what H is?
H.
No.
No.
But you can spend one to figure out what H is.
Yeah, we do have a free one.
Got two free ones left.
Let's do H.
Yeah, let's do H.
H is N.
Because it's stronger. It's stronger.
Yeah.
Promises we keep to each other are stronger than. No, not than.
T.
Oh, it could be then.
T-E. No, T-H.
TH.
Yeah.
Stronger
than the. No. Stronger than.
YHO.
Keep to each. So it's A. Where else is H? Strong. H is G, right? Sorry, H is N. So, then.
It's just the O.
Yeah, so you've got one more letter you can spend. Reveal.
Why don't we go for M? Since
Yeah,
it's
let's
the
do
start
it.
of that last word.
Yeah.
M is L.
All right, L. Do we know what E is?
Then
No.
Y is A. H is N. So stronger than any. What did you say M was? Sorry, L. Any. Promises we keep. Oh, to any. Then any lies, probably. Right? The promises we keep to each other are stronger than any lies? No.
No.
It's 5
R,
letters.
yeah.
So, and
Is
then
it-
E is E is I. So it's L-I.
We don't know what K is, and R is
We
H.
don't- We do know what K is
Oh,
because
yes.
it's G.
G.
Yeah.
Then stronger than any light. It is. It's light. Stronger than any light. The promises we keep to each other are stronger than any light.
Yeah.
Yeah? That
Little
you-
cipher.
yeah. As you type that in, literally, I mean, I had it literally right there. Yeah, as you type in the promises we keep to each other are stronger than any light, you watch as the firewall melts away in a bright, shining display of light as it reveals the exit door behind it. Interesting fact about that, I actually thought it would take you significantly longer to work it out. I was like, I don't know if there are people who get on with puzzles, so I'll make it easy enough. Because I've had some people who get puzzle trauma the second you put puzzles in front of them.
I get that. That makes sense.
In fairness, I'm shocked that we worked it out on stream. But
So it's not a difficult cipher.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It's the Albed cipher for Final Fantasy. It's the only one I know off by heart.
Yeah. Final
So-
Fantasy 10.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm such a Final Fantasy X nerd that I actually happen to know the Albed alphabet off the back of my hand. So I just translated that into that. And it's a relatively simple substitution cipher, so it's not like I was going to do a triple one where like the letter you have to translate it into another one, then translate it a second time. But that felt kind of very evil, especially if you got stuck. But no, you've blitzed to it.
It just means there's an archfey somewhere who's just really into JRPGs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or escape rooms.
Or escape rooms.
Yeah.
You might have read a famous 5-book once and been like, yeah, we'll do that.
You now see this door in front of you. You don't know what's behind it, just like every other door that you've been through in the dreaming. Opening this door doesn't show you what's on the other side. This door does have 2 engravings on it of hammers.
Ooh, forge.
Seems like a good indicator.
I wonder if we'll have to fight some kind of automaton when we get in there.
A robot, you say?
That just feels like, I don't know, if this were a video game, then that's what would happen.
Zelda's now very excited. I'm sure.
Question is, do you go in?
Oh yeah, do we go in? We might as well. Do we knock? Knocking seems bad. Let's just open the door and see what happens inside.
Yeah.
Awesome. You open the door. There's just a panel of bright white light, just as before. And as you walk through, everything goes white for a moment, and then you come back onto the other side. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll describe what's on the side of that door when we come back. We're going to take a quick 5 to minute break. So get up, go to the toilet, stretch your legs, get some food, and we will be back in a little bit with some more adventures on the other side of the door. So we'll see you then. Bye-zy bye. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good break. Let's jump straight back into it. As the white flash of light dissipates, you find yourselves standing in what looks like a grassy field with a small dirt path leading up. In the distance, there's a hill, and on that hill looks like a forge from this distance. Large pillars going up, a large dome roof over the top. What looks like an open air forge. Slightly further back in the distance, you can see almost floating above the horizon is a large set of double doors surrounded by what looks like hedgerows, ginormous hedgerows. I mean, these hedgerows have got to be, what, 50, 60, 70 feet? It's kind of weird because even though they're in the background, because they're so large, this door and hedge, it's almost like they're in the foreground. Anyone can give me any combination of perception, intelligence, or wits combined with either enigmas or Graymere.
I got this.
Difficulty 8.
Difficulty? Ooh, spicy.
Did you say that again? Enigma or?
Enigma or Graymere.
I think that's 2 successes for me.
I think we're all doing good. 3 successes on my end.
Nice.
With your memories coming back here in the deep dreaming, you're pretty sure those are the gates to Arcadia.
Whoa! Oh, that's important. That's important.
The hedge around it is kind of the barrier that stops people from entering. It's literally a ginormous hedgerow, which is said to have been enchanted and is lethal to anyone who tries to enter Arcadia via the hedges. From here, from where you're standing, you don't see a direct path between here and the gate. But the very fact that you think you can see it means that you must be like footsteps away from the center of the dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
As in the deepest any Fae has ever gotten and come back. Many have gone to the gates of Arcadia before, but none of them have ever made it back.
This is historic. Zelda is a little overwhelmed by the fact that she can, part of her at least, can remember this. And it's like, surely the forge itself can't. The forge itself is not behind those doors, is it? Yeah. They're not gonna. This world isn't gonna make us choose, is it? That would be a cruel joke. I want to. I want to try and head in that direction and see if I can make it to the door. I can see the forge.
I won't make you make another
Yeah.
perception check for it, but there is a second hill here
Mhm.
near the forge, and it looks like there's some apparatus set up there. You can't tell what it is from this distance, but
Okay,
there's something set up on that second hill.
perfect. All right, then I will suggest. I strongly suspect that approaching the doors to Arcadia without understanding more about this layer might be bad for us. Shall we go and inspect the forge and the equipment first, and then see if we can use that information gained to examine the door as well?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Head towards the second hill and eventually towards the forge, I guess. But let's check out that equipment, that apparatus over there.
Okay. You all climb the second hill. As you do, it's weird. It's almost like Arcadia is stuck in a position and you're moving. So like there's, you and the surroundings are moving, but Arcadia isn't. Almost like it's locked or like superseded into a certain position. Climbing this hill, you get to the top. You see 6 holders, clamps, all laid out in a circle. On the ground, with what looks like either sticks or like a trenching tool or some kind of like bladed item, the ground has been carved to make a circle going around all of these 6 holders, and a line from each individual one moving into the center, where there looks to be a looking glass positioned there. One of the carvings on the floor, specifically the one behind the looking glass. So, if the looking glass is in the middle, the one going directly south, that one has a flame carved around it.
Ah.
Aside from that, there's
That
nothing else here.
The one with the flame on probably corresponds to the Balefire mirror, yeah?
That makes sense.
I will take out the Balefire mirror as it gleefully burns down here, and just kind of hold it near and see if anything happens.
If you hold it near, nothing happens, but you can feel it wanting to like magnetize itself to this clamp.
Alright. I think we found the places we need to stick the mirrors back into then.
Are we reasonably confident that putting them all together when we've been avoiding doing exactly that is the wisest course of action?
Now that you mention it, now that you mention it, that could backfire if we're not prepared for what exactly happens. That wouldn't be great.
I mean, one could argue we haven't been prepared for anything that's happened, but maybe we just put one of the mirrors and check the vibes? I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay, We should probably check with one of the more normal mirrors. The Balefire mirror constantly being on fire makes it already a anomaly. So let's just place a regular mirror in one of the regular slots and see what occurs.
It clips in. It magnetizes itself to the clamp. Not a lot happens, in all honesty, with just one of them put in position. You do notice that the looking glass kind of shakes a bit, but it then just stops. If you're just clamping a single mirror in.
Okay.
Akshara is just like, guys, we are so good at escape rooms. like hold that hand for another regular flavor of mirror. Be like, oh, I can clip one in.
Yeah, second one clamps into place. You notice that the looking glass now, it's almost like a needle on a compass. It seems to be trying to align to something. But it's not there's not enough power here for it to find its location.
I see. Something about that bothers me, but gonna clip a third regular mirror into a hole there and see if that seems to be giving it more juice like I think it is.
It's not giving it more juice, the third mirror. What the third mirror does seems to like it narrows down the location that the looking glass is now looking for. Before it was spinning around with two mirrors. Now it's kind of like only moving like an 80-degree angle.
Okay. Huh.
May I take a look at the map and see if
because
all maps have a little compassy thing. And what's happening does the map look different with our shenanigans?
The map doesn't work here. You open it and you can just hear Tristan's voice in this map going, I have absolutely no idea where you are. This is I'll be honest.
You had one job, Tristan.
Wow, I'm sorry that I had a vision of, the entirety of the dreaming, a place that I, a vampire, should not be able to see. I am so sorry I had that, and I'm so sorry it's helped you get this far that I can't give you the answer you desire. Though if I was a betting vampire, I'd say maybe look at the looking glass. Duh. And then you just watch the map fold back up and then become unenchanted.
Damn. You got our last hint from that. Sorry. We got our last hint from that. And I'm gonna check out the looking glass and see what I see.
It's still moving rather violently at this point now, with 3 mirrors attached to it. So looking down it isn't possible. Zelda would get whacked and thrown to either side. You do notice that based on the height of it, it's not flat. It's tilted at an angle. So it's spinning like that. Now, if you were a scientific deducey person, Zelda, you'd assume that the top point is probably where it's trying to align to, somewhere on that horizon.
Mm-hmm.
That's pointing directly at the gate of Arcadia.
I thought so. Don't like that. Okay.
There is no power here, though.
Yeah. But the gate of Arcadia is like fixed in us. It is always out of reach from what we can currently tell. It is part of the skybox at this location.
Yep.
I feel like it might be a bad idea to put every single mirror inside at the same time without having the actual power going through it. But it would get it aligned with the gates again, which might keep it in one place. I don't know.
I mean, you've got two more. If you're going to clip non-Balefire mirrors, you've got two more to clip.
Yeah, that's perfect. And let's like clip the non-Balefire ones, so the ones that have the least chance of setting things on. Maybe the Balefire one is the power that this thing needs, and then the others are just the focusing lenses.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I think that too. I also think so. All of our swords are made of light, right? Or like
not anymore.
Light things.
Now they've gone back to being regular swords. Now that you're no longer in the internet, they are just regular rapiers and short and long swords.
In my continued meta reading of Hedge's words, it sounds like you're saying the internet sometimes exaggerates things, but whatever. Okay. Do we have any source of light aside from the Balefire on fire mirror?
It's on you. I don't think any of you do carry any sources of light on you.
Okay.
You've got your phones. I mean, they get no signal here, but they do have flashlights built into them.
I'm just trying to, because it's kind of fun.
It's the ambient light, to give you an idea, is kind of ambient moonlight. There is no moon, but moonlight is coming from somewhere.
Oh my god, there's a hidden mirror.
Ooh.
There is a hidden mirror. Or the moon has its own moon, which is reflecting the light to us. Because basically my whole thing about having a light source was to go to one of the regular mirrors and see what happens to the light refracted from the mirror and between the mirrors, depending on how they're set up. Or tell me what you guys think of this idea, is to set our swords, which, they might not be beacons of light anymore, but they are still made of solid metal, that they might act as that they might react to all this like compass-related magnetism in the air, and see what happens if we just put one of them on the floor between the mirrors.
Sure, I'm willing to put a sword on the ground and see if they become the needle in the compass.
The sword does nothing.
Okay. Right.
It's not magnetism per se that's causing this effect.
Okay.
However, I will remind Zelda that Zelda has her knocker ability to make items out of other useless rubbish. If you want a light source, Zelda could probably make a very big laser pointer.
I could try that.
Or something along those lines. Especially because you're in the
flashlight,
deep
so
yeah. Shall I make a gigantic ass torch, a big laser pointer?
I mean, as much as I don't feel anything could possibly go wrong with that, I think that we might see what's happening with our flashlights on our phones with the mirrors, like how the light is behaving before we upscale to a full-fledged laser that could potentially kill us.
Checks out. Okay, take out phone, turn on torch, see what happens if I point at the mirror.
We all look like we're attending different concerts.
So the problem you've got is, have you clipped all 5 in position now, and it's just the Balefire one you haven't clipped, or are you still keeping it at the 3?
I'm fine with clipping the other 2 regular mirrors as well, if you guys are.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you clip the 5th one in, the looking glass stops. And a bit as Zelda kind of theorized, it is pointing directly. If you can now look through it, and as you look through it, you can see the gates to Arcadia in much bigger. I mean, they're massive anyway, but now you can really see them. You can see the detailing on the actual door and everything at this point. That is where it's pointed.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
Isn't there still, because we're on the hill that has all this complicated stuff, but isn't there still the other hill with like the actual forge proper?
Yes, the actual forge is on the other hill.
Yo, I think if we put the last mirror in here, it's gonna open the gates just straight up. But like, I don't know how if we can take them out and destroy the mirrors afterwards. If I try and take a mirror out, what happens? Can I do it?
You can unclip a mirror.
Okay, that's fine. At least for now. From what we know, the being able to open a gate to Arcadia wasn't supposed to be a thing these things can really do, but here that seems like that's its purpose. We can try and activate this, but I do not know whether or not we'll be able to interact with the mirrors afterwards. And in fact, if I can look around and read and check, it doesn't look like there's an off switch.
There doesn't appear to be an off switch.
Okay.
An obvious off switch, anyway.
Okay.
As part of your flashing your phone lights into the mirrors, phone flashlights aren't powerful enough to give you the full reading. But you get the impression that they bounce off one another, and eventually they all focus on that Balefire mirror.
The Balefire mirror, which is a fire, will have light. If we do the big old laser thing, we'll have strong light also feeding into it. What would we get from the forge, do you think?
The forge, if I'm understanding correctly, should be the only way to permanently destroy all these mirrors, which is our mission.
Right, but like, as in, what do we are we thinking of trying to smash them, or are we just trying to see what the forge has and like take it from there?
Well, we haven't placed a Balefire mirror yet. We can go check the forge now and make our decision once we've seen it.
Yeah. So you know what you think?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm just terrified of accidentally opening the gates to Arcadia and dooming everyone to just like suddenly growing wings and flying away into space. That's just my worry, but I feel like I'm the least qualified to know how to not do that. So I'm being a bit quiet. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just trying to think. So why don't we unclip 2 more mirrors? Just in case. I don't know. Just in case. Some mirrors trip and fasten themselves. I don't know. Why don't we unclip 2 of the regular mirrors and like keep them amongst us, and then go to the forge and see what's going on?
Good plan. Good plan.
Okay.
I have a terrible plan on top of that, but you know that's a later thing.
Mhm.
All right, so unclip a few mirrors
Yeah,
and
got
head
a
over
couple
to
of
the forge.
mirrors, and you're down the hill and up the next hill to the forge.
Yeah, this walk sucks.
If only someone had built a bridge between the forge hill and the apparatus hill, maybe things would have been so bad. The forge is an old style, kind of almost Greek style forge, in the the actual burning fire pit is in the middle, and everything is built around circles. There are 6 pillars, excuse me, holding up the roof of this forge. And aside from that, there's no windows or doors. It's all open air. In 5 of these pillars, on a table in front of them, are these roses kept in jars. Each rose is a different color. One is red, one is blue, one is black, one is green, one is purple. I'm going to tell you for free that at the back of those mirrors, they correspond to the exact same sort of stained glass image of a rose.
Perfect.
The forge in the middle is cold. It's not on. It would need to be ignited in some way. There's tools around the place. There's scrolls. There's a few bookshelves, a few desks littered around. It looks like it hasn't been used in a very long time. Everyone can give me any kind of check they want to investigate the place.
There shall be investigation and intelligence for me.
Difficulty is 9.
Whoa! Cool. That's good.
I got 1 success.
Nice.
Investigation with intelligence?
Can do.
Or with... wait, what am I... With... I feel like you might not let me use manipulation.
No, use any combination you want. This is the one time of my life where I'm going to be like, okay, you can use whatever you like. Okay.
Oh no.
Did it roll?
It
Yes,
did.
it
Oh
rolls.
no. Oh, I mean, in fairness, it was a difficulty 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You rolled a 10, which is a success, but also rolled a 1, which immediately cancelled it out. Okay. So Zelda got 2 and Xena got 1. Okay. We'll start with Ashgra first. There's something about this place that feels ethereal. Bit weird coming from Faye to use the word ethereal. Something even holier than Faye. It almost feels like standing here, you're maybe desecrating something you shouldn't, or you're interrupting something you shouldn't. But the roses are pretty, at least. I mean, they are real roses, kind of kept behind a little jar. Very similar to the ones used in Beauty and the Beast, except these ones aren't wilting. Which is another thing. The roses themselves aren't wilting. There's no water in them. They're just there, floating in the middle of these jars, completely fine and healthy. For Xena, you start looking through some of the scrolls. And with the help of Zelda, you finally manage to piece together the puzzle of the mirrors. It turns out everyone was right. Everyone's own version of what these mirrors are right in their own way. They just didn't have all the information. These mirrors, when activated correctly, are designed to try and open the doors to Arcadia. If they are, however, put together incorrectly, or are smashed together outside of their apparatus, they will create a void that will pull the Autumn world into the dreaming, or extend the dreaming into the Autumn world. It really is semantics at that point, over which is which. The person who made these mirrors, who has gone to great lengths to hide their name, they never refer to themselves in the first person at all in any of their diary entries, decided that it was too lofty a goal to try and force open the gates of Arcadia, and decided that maybe no one ever should. And so they pretended that they were gifts for the Camarilla, hoping that by imbuing them with a little bit of vampiric magic, it may keep the vampires squabbling over them for decades and centuries and millennia, and that no one would ever get the complete set because every couple of years they would just vanish and reappear somewhere else in the world. It would take an insane amount of work in the author's eyes to get all 6 together in the same time frame and then pull them together. In fact, looking at the activation instructions, it's a miracle that none of you accidentally activated these. Xena's thought was right. Just taking all 6 and putting them in the same, 30 centimeters of each other is enough to do it. The fact that you managed to keep them apart in groups of 2 was actually quite smart. The reason these mirrors were separated is because their creator truly believes that they will open the gates if activated.
Ooh.
And they had a change of heart at the last minute and decided that maybe they didn't want to do that. And there's a passage at the end that implores if anyone finds this place, if anyone has the mirrors, find a way to relight the forge and just throw them inside. But whoever that person is, they're gone. I mean, if they stayed in the deep dreaming, they've probably fallen to bedlam by now.
This is an enormous discovery for all of our people. And if these words are true, then as long as we follow these instructions, we will open the door to Arcadia, and without dragging the Autumn World into it. This is not a chance that will ever come again, but if the other side, if this is something that the person who made these mirrors felt wasn't worth doing, what is on the other side that is, what are the people like on the other side that he would prefer, that they would prefer that they were locked away?
You've got to remember that these mirrors were made in a very different time for changelings. The great expulsion of the noble caste hadn't happened yet, so the nobility was still in Arcadia. Then 1969, the moon landing happened, the gates to Arcadia flung open, and just to quote modern terminology, yeeted the nobility out of Arcadia. Quite literally, threw them out. Now, whether it was willing or unwilling, no one knows. No one can remember. But back then, banality wasn't around when these were created so much. Now you're living in a very different world when these were forged. Banality is now everywhere. Nearly every Fae believes that this is the final stage until the Earth goes truly banal, and none of you will ever be able to reincarnate ever again. If those gates could open and stay open, you could pull every changeling back and guarantee that banality can't get them.
All right, I got it. Zelda's got her thought process. She's going to look at the others, and is going to say, while I've never put much stock in the stories of those who wish and yearn for a time before this, this is still a historic discovery. If we can open the gate and see what's on the other side, we can then use our judgment from there to decide what to do with that knowledge and information. If we can save people, I don't think everyone running back here is the solution, but if that's a thing we can do, then it's worth at least seeing. That's my opinion. We can smash the mirrors after we've done this, but we should at least see, right? Aren't you curious?
I feel like this is a big decision to make.
It is.
I'm not sure the three of us are qualified to make it on our own.
Oh, we're most
Doesn't it
certainly
seem-
not.
Doesn't it seem off to you that it would be left up to whoever made it here, whoever has some shiny trinkets that sit in a particular position and suddenly, I don't know.
It does seem
Mhm.
off. It does seem like a big responsibility, but it's not something we'll ever know or understand unless we try. Whether we got these to this point via luck or providence or a malicious guiding hand, the reality is that we're the ones here.
think the odds of anyone else ever doing this are very small, which doesn't mean impossible, but we've kind of got one shot at this. What's the worst that could happen if we open these gates?
We let out some horrible entity that has warped in the decades since it's been locked up. That'd be bad.
Yep.
Of course, if that happens, we just beat it up.
Yeah.
This is a huge responsibility. This is huge. I don't know that. You know what? On consideration, I will say, see ya.
Oh my god!
The best decision is not to make a decision.
Best decision is not to make a decision. Real.
The world is a different place. You got here by chance, luck. No one's got this deep before. You could go back and ask for help, but could you get back here again?
And on top of that, will the mirror still be in the same time zone whilst we're doing this?
There is that.
Zelda wants to open the gate safely, of course, not bring the dreaming into the autumn world and vice versa. But she'll say, whatever's on the other side, I still think that there must have been a reason, like beyond the different time that we're in back then compared to now, for this person to have been so unnerved at the idea of opening this place up. Whatever happens, there will be at least some kind of trouble. But letting fear dictate us is not my style. If there's a problem, we just fix it.
I have to say, the idea of the kind of titles we will get if this goes off. I mean, obviously, fuck the monarchy, fuck the hierarchy, and all that kind of thing. But titles are fun and fancy. I mean, drag king, still good. It's like it's an egalitarian kind of title. Anyone could be a king.
Very solid. Agreed. I will. Are we in agreement? We're gonna try to open the gate.
Okay. You make your way back to the other hill. Clip back in the other two mirrors. And there's just the Balefire mirror left to clip in.
Guess this is goodbye, old friend. As I will. We're sure we're following the instructions here, yeah? Like this is what we're meant to do. You put it in, and then they align and stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Then put the last one in.
You clip the last one into position and watch as the balefire from the mirror goes into the ground, follows the channels on the ground, lighting up, and you watch as each mirror begins to ignite and gain its own fire. Over the next 3 or 4 minutes, you watch as threads of glamour from the sky get pulled into this main Balefire mirror. Like it's harvesting glamour from the realm around it.
Ooh.
Charging up. And then, just as quickly as it all started, you watch as from that Balefire mirror, a beam of green, almost bale glamour at this point, hits the looking glass through the eye, pushes its way into that tiny little opening, and then from the other side comes out as a massive beam of light that hits the gates of Arcadia. To start with, it looks like nothing is happening. Just lights hitting a door, doing nothing. But after about 10 to 15 minutes of this going on, and you watching and looking, you notice the door ever so slightly pry open as a staircase starts to form, made of pure glamour. Begins to kind of appear, starting from the top on that fixed position and working its way down to the edge of the hill where you are. By the time the staircase is made, the doors the doors to Arcadia have fully opened. And one important fact, it is no longer stuck to the skybox. It is now in a fixed position. You watch as all of the mirrors around you explode in shards of glass and debris. The backblast of the energy from those explosions, you see it rushes towards the door where you came through into Digitalis and seems to go back down the dreaming. In London, in the autumn world, it is the dead of night, and the hole above the shard collapses on itself, spewing out that surge of glamour as it collapses. For the next 3 nights and 3 days, there is a purpley pink aurora borealis over London, which is how we ended the last vampire episode.
Ooh.
When they realized that the mirrors had been destroyed. The breach is gone. There's no risk of the autumn world sinking into the dreaming anymore. And in front of you is a pair of stairs that, in theory, if that is the gate that they say it is, should lead to the fabled world of Arcadia.
We have an adventure ahead of us.
Let's very reverently, elegantly, and respectfully fuck shit up.
Couldn't have said it better. As I draw the sonic screwdriver, because I don't want to carry this sword, and will make my way up the stairs.
Fantastic. It's a long trip. There are a lot of stairs. If this is now the new entranceway to Arcadia for all like changelings, probably inventing a stair lift or a train would probably make you very popular. As you get closer to the top, you feel your glamour getting stronger. You feel your connections to the Fae getting stronger. You start to almost glow a little bit as you become the purest version of your Fae selves. The most intelligent, the most beautiful, the most, the most anything. You reach the top. These ginormous 70-foot doors now open. That familiar white glow coming through. Just one more jump to make. And you could be in the true center of the dreaming.
No one's gone here and gotten back before. Let's be the first.
After you.
And I leap through the door, through the light.
You leap through the light. For a moment, you think it hasn't worked. You're stuck in this light for a couple of seconds longer than you've ever been stuck in light before in the dreaming. And then you come out. Out to the other side. Standing in what looks like a burnt field. For as far as the eye can see, you can just see ash and burnt dirt. There is glamour here, but it's faint. There's not a very strong connection to glamour here. You see a tower in the distance. At the very top of it is something you're very familiar with. A breach.
Oh.
But this one doesn't have purpley glamour energy. This is oozing black and darkness. It appears banality has corrupted Arcadia. And that is where we're going to leave the episode.
Shit's fucked!
Well, there's a reason they left. I see. Makes sense. Why didn't we think of this?
We're not trapped out. We're in the safe place.
And you may have just opened the door to ultimate banality. I'm sure it's fine. we will be back tomorrow afternoon, same time, 2 p.m. BST, for the final episode of this series, where we get to see if 3 completely random changelings can somehow divert the course of changeling history and, I guess, save Arcadia? Mm.
Who knows?
Or they'll die, you know. Either
We might
way,
make things worse.
yeah. Either way, there will be an ending. I hope you can join us for that. It is going to be a lot of fun. Until tomorrow, look after each other, stay safe, sleep well, and we will see you then. Bye, everyone.